difference between being vulnerability and...
Low self-esteem.
Yes. It's quite a tricky one, isn't it? Because you think they're kind of interlinked, but they're not.
They're not really, no.
No. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this week's episode of
Get Real with the English Sisters.
Join us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. And thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you so much. And if you do enjoy this podcast, please share with your family and your friends, because it really does make a difference to us.
It does. It makes our podcast chart all over the world.
It makes it chart, and it makes us get excited to do another one.
I know. It's all linked, isn't it?
It's all linked, yeah.
Does it make our self-esteem grow?
Probably, yeah. Definitely. Well, I don't know, but I guess so. Yeah, it makes me feel good that somebody's listening, and I guess, it's also an ego thing, I guess, because I want to share what I know. So perhaps, that could be something linked with ego. I don't know if it's good or bad, but hey, we're human. It's don't look at me like that.
I'm just trying to think, is it egoistic? I suppose it
is egoistic
in a way, but I think
why not though?
Yes.
I mean, we're humans. I'm not denying that part of me.
No.
That I do get a kick out of saying, oh yay, I managed to help someone. I mean, or yay, we've it's gone up. You tell me the numbers. Sometimes I know they're just numbers, but sometimes it helps.
I think it helps to know that people are listening, because you feel as if you're doing something that's worthwhile.
Yeah, and as a hypnotherapist,
it's like validation.
It's kind of like the reason why we became hypnotherapists and therapists in the first place. So it's to help real people that we can physically see, but also this podcast is also just to help anyone really, and it's
hopefully it'll make your life a little better, as it makes our lives better by doing it.
It does, because when we do them, we learn from ourselves and from the stuff that we research and everything. So definitely.
So being vulnerable, I mean, I suppose we're being quite vulnerable here.
Well, this is me being vulnerable, because I have actually spoken about my ego, which is something that could be seen as a negative thing. Thinks, so you're doing it for selfish reasons.
Yeah, and I suppose everything you kind of do is for selfish reasons. I suppose it comes down to the selfish gene, doesn't it? Where we kind of do things for oneself to propagate ourselves, and allow ourselves to kind of to live on in the future.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you're talking about a legacy here.
No, but I mean, even like when we procreate and that, I think instinctively we're like that, aren't we? We want to do things for ourselves
yeah, definitely.
But I think when you have very low self-esteem, I think that's where that bit is kind of missing, and you don't want to do things for yourself because your self-esteem is so low.
Yeah, definitely. And I do think the difference between being vulnerable and saying things openly and sharing the part of you that normally you wouldn't want to share, that's actually quite, well, at least in today's society, it's seen as a good thing, I think, and for most people.
Well, yeah, people want to feel as if they're creating relationships that are meaningful.
Yeah, and connecting really to the person.
And the way to truly connect with someone is to show them that you're vulnerable.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Because if you always say, "Oh no, everything's fine,"
No, I mean, I just do this because I'm such a good person. Yes, you are a good person. I think I am a good person.
Yeah.
But there's also the side of me that wants to be listened to and wants to help others, but probably I'm helping myself by helping others. So it's myself first and then helping others. Do you know what I mean? The reason why we're doing this podcast is also to help ourselves, to make our lives more interesting, so that we're more always intellectually stimulated, like what we said, and
to feel current as well.
Yes, exactly. So there's also that component probably in every single thing we do in all of our lives.
I think it would be undeniably to say no, that's not true. I think that would be a lie for most people with everything that they do.
Yeah, just some holy figure. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, the vulnerability is
I mean, if someone's really vulnerable and they say, I'm scared of cats or something, you know, you're going to be sympathetic, aren't you?
Well, yeah, because another person, I mean, you're not going to laugh at them and say, oh, why? Cats are such small creatures. You're scared of
Yeah.
cats. There's a reason why, maybe. Because you saw a film or had a bad experience, you got scratched as a kid or something. You know, there's a reason why you're scared of cats. Maybe it's just like superstition. Because, you know.
Oh, I didn't think of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, like the poor little black cats once upon a time. They were always seen as evil and had like bad luck associated to them. What are you laughing at? I mean, still today,
It's
some
so
people
cute.
still
No,
say
I know.
they're adorable, yeah, but unfortunately, you know, they were linked to that kind of.
Evil.
So that's why you're scared of
Witchcraft.
cat. Witchcraft, yeah.
I'm not scared of them.
No, I'm not scared of them. We've rescued 2 little cats, and one of them is black and white. But even if she was just pure black, we had our
They're
little
beautiful, aren't
black
they?
little black dog, because she was adorable. Yeah, I mean. For me, it's not linked to superstition.
I think that's
but
a way of forming when you get together with someone. I think that's how you form a true bond, by showing your vulnerability.
yeah,
Obviously,
true
you
friendships.
don't want to just blurt everything out and have verbal diarrhea on the first day and show all your fears and
No,
because that's almost going to the other extreme of having low self-esteem, where you feel as if you just have to say everything that you feel is bad about you.
also it's context,
Yes.
isn't it? You're not going into a job interview and showing everything, all your vulnerabilities. You want to look really confident, and you're not going to say, yeah, the truth is I'm really scared about doing this interview. I mean, you can to a certain point, as long as you're or say I'm actually feeling really nervous because sometimes I don't do well in interviews. But you know, come on, it's context, isn't it? But if you're going out and meeting friends, or you want to develop a different kind of relationship, you know, some real connection going on, that then it's like, you know, you say, you know, look at the room. What is it when you say read the room? Yeah, read the room. You know that now, because it seems, well, to some people it seems obvious. It may not be as obvious.
No, it's
but
not obvious.
No, it's true. Yeah,
It's not obvious.
you got to read the room when you're being vulnerable, and then you've got to accept the fact that if you are going to be vulnerable, you might have that vulnerability hangover, like what Brené Brown says. You know, then you might think, oh gosh, I shared too much. So, but yeah, but low self-esteem. Whereas if you're meeting somebody on the first time, what I don't like about seeing somebody, if I'm hanging out with them like a friend, obviously if it's not a therapeutic environment, which I can greatly appreciate the fact they've come to see us because of these issues, but if it's just like friends, when they're displaying too much low self-esteem, then it just becomes like it kind of like
It makes you feel down, doesn't it?
it makes me feel down, and it's like just too much. It's like when, for example, a friend comes round and she keeps on saying, oh no, I don't like this dress on me, I wish I'd changed the dress, and you're reinforcing it, saying, no, that dress is fine, let's just, you know, don't worry so much, please, you look really nice. But their self-esteem is so low about their physical appearance, or about, oh no, I shouldn't have said that, that in the end it kind of like ruins the evening. Because the thing about low self-esteem is that you really are in your own head all the time, so you can't see other people around you, you're just involved in yourself.
So it's like
It's being like extremely selfish, you know, in the sense that
it's like paradoxical. You wouldn't think it
it's
selfish.
Yes, but it's very
but
egotistical.
It can come across as being egotistical and selfish.
Because it's just about yourself all the time, especially if you have really low self-esteem. It's, you know, you're being vulnerable about it as well. So it's a bit of a disastrous combination, really, because you cannot get out of your own head and look at somebody else and pay them a compliment, or even if you do pay them a compliment, say, no, it's all right for you, you look really nice. Whereas me, oh my God, my hair's so bad today, or oh no, I shouldn't have said that, and
so it's all about me.
It's all about you. So you've got to, if you do suffer from low self-esteem, I think it's something you have to sort of like recognize and try and help yourself, perhaps not in a social context. Because in social
because I think
contexts,
it can put people off, can't it? And it can be hard to form friendships like that.
it can be, because it's often just about the other person, isn't it? You know that, and there's only so much reassuring a normal friend can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was someone that hasn't got the tools.
Well, yeah, if you haven't got the tools, you don't really know what to do with that person. I mean, you may have a friend like that and somebody that you love like that, and
You may be like that yourself, and you may feel
You
that
might not recognise
you might
it.
not realize that you are like that, or you might know that you're like that, and then you might feel as if, how comes when I go out I don't have that much fun?
yeah, because you can't get out of your own
Yeah.
head. That's why you don't have fun, because you haven't literally got any space in
You're
your
just
mind.
worrying all the time.
Yeah, to look outside of what you're saying and what the and what you're looking like, and just being able to look at another person, reading their body language, trying to understand how maybe they're feeling. It's about getting out. So when you do suffer from a lot of low self-esteem, it can be like that. So it's hard.
Sometimes it's just good just to take a deep breath and then just say, okay, I'm going to come out of myself, and I'm going to, first of all, you can do a little exercise, and you can see, well, how do my friends see me? How do the
Exactly.
people that love me see me? And then you're
What are they really telling
what
me?
are they telling me? How are how do they view me? And you'll often find that they say really lovely things about
They
you.
do, yes, but it's how you have to be open to
But
receive
if you've
those
got
compliments.
low self-esteem, you won't receive them.
That's it. It's like you're blocking the email. You
So
will
it's
not
like
receive
you
it.
have to open your heart up, and then in that sense, you have to be vulnerable and say, "I am going to accept what my friends
Because
are
I
saying."
do suffer from low self-esteem, and I understand, and maybe it's because of a certain circumstances as I grew up. I didn't.
Might have a voice in your head of someone that was always
Yeah.
putting you down.
Yeah, exactly. And there's reasons to why you suffer from, or maybe just because you're comparing yourself to these impossible people that you think are great all the time, like these people on social media, and you think, I can never, I don't look like that. I don't have what they have. So I feel inferior. I have low self-esteem. So yeah, being vulnerable about it is also good, because you can tell your friends, actually, I do have low self-esteem. So if you catch me moaning about my appearance or about, stuff that I said, you can just give me a hug and say, it's going to be okay. Let's move on. Let's choose something else to talk about. So it's something to get yourself out of your own head, because that's what can happen with low self-esteem.
Yeah, and that might just click with you now. That might be a light bulb moment when you might think, "Oh, I never really thought that was selfish."
No, because
I'm just, I'm just thinking,
I'm not secure about myself.
Yeah,
It's not me being selfish.
It's not my fault.
It's me being frightened. It's me being
But
insecure.
if you reframe it and think of it as being a little bit selfish, and think, what am I going to do? Can I look into how that other person's feeling?
When I say those things,
it might open up a new world. It probably will open up a new world for you.
It will, yeah, because you do have so many people that say, I love that person. I just wish they were a little bit more confident in themselves, and I wish they would know how beautiful they really are inside and out. And it just, it might just be click. Just click,
And
realise it.
And when it does click, you'll just think, oh, how comes I never thought of that?
Yeah.
It's quite.
It can be quite fast,
Yes.
because it's happened to our clients.
Yeah.
And it's been really like they've had radical changes just by realizing. So when they do go into that negative self-talk, and sometimes the negative self-talk comes out onto people they love, and family and friends, and even colleagues, even anybody, they can say, hey, let me focus on saying something else now. Pay more attention
to other people.
So instead of thinking about how awful I look, for example, and I'm not dressed appropriately for the
Just forget
occasion.
me.
Forget me and look at somebody else and say, oh, I really like your shoes, without thinking mine are horrible. Just saying something just nice, without going back and ping-ponging it back on yourself the entire time. Just...
Yeah, because you tend to hog the conversation when it's like
You
that.
do hog it. You do. And without wanting to.
Without
Because
wanting
you're
to,
a beautiful person and you don't want to hog the conversation. We can appreciate how lovely you are.
Yeah, it's not like you're doing it on purpose.
No, it's an unconscious process of...
But I think when you become aware of it, it can be very, very liberating.
And freeing.
And it can cause you to feel a lot of anxiety relief as well.
Gosh, all of a sudden you think, wow, yeah.
It's as easy as that.
That's me. I can change. And how do I do it? I just have to look outside of my own head and look at anything else and think about other things, like focus if you're on a date and you're thinking, this is going so badly because my nose is shiny. I don't know, whatever you're thinking of. No, I'm not thinking about my nose being shiny. Here, for example, I'm going to think about the food in front of me, and say something nice about that, or say something nice about the person in front of me. Start focusing on anything else,
Yeah, external.
Anything external will immediately get you out of your own head. I think that's
because being in your own head can be very comforting if it's a nice place to be, but when it's an anxious place or a place that's filled with low self-esteem, it can be actually very detrimental to you, as you probably know, and it can limit you in many, many ways. It can stop you from becoming the person that you really are meant to be.
Exactly, yes. That beautiful person that you know.
A person that can thrive and shine and, give and be fun. Because when you take all that away, if you take all those layers away, you'll find that, you're probably a lovely, bubbly, fun person to hang around.
Yeah, before you got all your mental hang-ups about this or somebody else that said that and all of the stuff that goes on. You can just get rid of that, really quickly.
Yeah, it's so easy, isn't it? And yet it's so difficult. It can seem so difficult.
It can seem so difficult because you don't, it's like, we've had people that say, it doesn't feel like I can never get out of my own head because no matter what I do, I always see something bad about it, and other people pay them compliments and gosh, you're doing really well, etc. And it all just gets brushed under the carpet. They just ignore it.
Yeah.
People with low self-esteem tend to do that. So really.
I was thinking about that. Milton Erickson, who was a famous
psychotherapist and hypnotherapist.
And he's a doctor as well. And he said that he had a client that was very low self-esteem and was feeling very low in general, and he found that she loved gardening, and so he said, why don't you look at the births and the deaths in your area?
Yeah, I remember that story. Yeah.
It was in a newspaper when it used to be printed in newspapers. It was a while back. And whenever someone dies or someone's born, why don't you send them a little violet plant?
Right,
she loved propagating these violets. And but just by doing that one simple task, this exercise, it got her out of her own head and her own low self-esteem and her own, the way she was feeling. And it brought her into the community, and she became known as the lady that gave the beautiful violet plants. And she lived happily after that.
Well, yeah, it also gave her a sense of purpose, and it literally got her out of her own head by doing something, I guess, physical like gardening. Yeah, that's
and it involved her in her community, because she would be looking at these notices and getting involved with the people, giving her condolences or her congratulations. But
she was doing something for others instead of just focusing on herself.
It brought her into her
and her own misery and her own suffering and her just herself, her own head. It brings anything you can do, literally anything that'll bring you out of your own head. Some people volunteer, some people look after I don't know, other people's pets when they're away. Anything that'll get you out, really, of your own.
It helps, doesn't it?
It helps. It does help a lot. Yeah, definitely. So that's all about being, having low self-esteem and what you can do. And as far as being vulnerable, I don't know. I think that's a useful.
Well, if you're not vulnerable in your relationships and you never communicate to the other person how you're really feeling about something, like say if you pretend, there's a comedy where she pretended she loved mountaineering and things like that, and so she'd go on and do all these
classical
things,
in those,
and she hated those things. She was terrified.
Yeah.
But she's pushing her boundaries and she's feeling really terrible afterwards. So, I mean, you can't really get to know a person properly unless they do open up to their vulnerabilities and say, I don't like this, so I'm not into that.
And being confident enough to be able to do that is...
Yeah, to be able to say it.
Yeah, that's
And the magical thing about when you do open up about something that you feel vulnerable about is that you'll find that the other person opens up as well.
Normally they do.
And then you get closer to the person.
Yeah, definitely.
Whether it's with friends or with partners or lovers or whatever.
When was the time you felt vulnerable?
Or even with your children.
Last time you personally say you felt vulnerable about something?
Vulnerable.
Or you expressed your vulnerability towards doing something?
Can't remember now. I mean, I think it's something.
What about when you first met your husband, John?
That was years ago.
Yeah, I know, but did you express vulnerability when you were going out with him?
Probably. I can't even remember now. It was so long ago. Come on, it's 30 years ago, 40.
So what? But surely you can remember things that you would say, I don't like doing that, or I'm scared of that.
I just say I didn't like it, and I'd tell him all the truth. I wouldn't be messing around.
No.
I mean, we were best friends for a start.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I wouldn't be putting on a force.
No, I don't
But
mean
like
by saying
honest.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I've never had a problem with communicating. I'm very like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not into that. I'm not.
I guess, yeah.
I suppose when we started going to the first really posh hotels, I felt vulnerable because I wasn't used to it.
You felt insecure there, yeah, because you were like...
But I mean, I told you I felt vulnerable. It's not as if I
told
hid
me.
it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'd get you to phone up and things.
You were like scared of phoning reception. Yeah. Like, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Yeah, because we were brought up in a, immigrant family, very, very, very humble. So when we did sort of start working and
getting nicer things,
being able to go to nice hotels, you were really vulnerable about that, even asking for things. I was more used to it only because I used to work, I used to work as an air hostess, so we used to get taken to these hotels, so I was more used to it. Certainly the first time I wasn't used to it at all either.
I mean, even now I don't really like being waited on and things like that too much. I find the fuss around me, I find that quite embarrassing.
Because
so I suppose that's been... I feel quite vulnerable about that. I wouldn't say it was low self-esteem, but I would just say...
Don't fuss over me.
I don't want to kind of put people out, people that are working, that like but I suppose that's a nice thing.
That's their job, isn't it?
It's their job, but
yeah, no, I mean,
but like if I wanted an extra something, I might wait for that. I'll wait for the waiter to come near me when it's not. I'm not going to start calling the waiter out, shouting out. Can you come over?
But that's just rude. That's just rude. Yeah, and I don't mean that. I just like what you were saying about actually going to nice hotels in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we used to go as the English sisters and that, you used to be like that. Yeah, that was just cute though, wasn't it? Yeah, you were scared. Yeah, you were like scared. Oh, this is so posh. I'm like scared of...
What do you do? It's all like new, isn't it?
Yeah. It's exciting though, isn't it?
It is exciting. It's exciting, but it's also a big learning curve because you don't, you're travelling and that.
Yeah.
I mean, we were used to travelling because we've always travelled ever since we were little, but it's a bit more. Then you kind of have your children, then you kind of forget what it's like.
You do, yeah.
Kind of nest a lot.
Yeah. too much nesting is not good either, because you want to get out, don't you, of your comfort zone. Yeah.
It's nice to do different things.
It is. It's lovely. Yeah, even though it can make you feel vulnerable again.
Well, I think it does. And I think if you don't
You were
ever
vulnerable
feel
the first time we
vulnerable-
used to do YouTube videos, for example. Do you remember?
Yes, I used to hate doing that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Seeing-
You were worse.
even
I
just
didn't like
hearing-
seeing myself at all. Or
Hearing my
hearing
voice,
my
I didn't like it.
Awful, but let alone having to watch it. I mean, I don't...
You
I
never
still don't...
watched it.
No, I still don't watch the YouTube videos. Even of these podcasts, I never do. I just say, all right, Violetta, you upload them. Yeah, so because you have to be vulnerable. You have to look at yourself. And...
Well, you have to see yourself in a way you're not used to seeing yourself. I mean, now people do so many selfies. I remember when the first selfies came out.
It was horrific for me. I think, why on earth
So
would anyone
close
do
up.
that? Yeah. So close up, you can like see every pore. For goodness
Now
sake,
they've got the nicer...
get rid of it. What is this witchcraft? Help! Even seeing a photograph was hard. I mean, because photographs
Well,
they
it's
don't
the
represent the
photograph.
real person. And if you
No.
think about it, the photograph is just. It's
I think
flat
most
image.
people struggle with that, though, don't they? At the beginning, when they first seen them, most people don't like, unless you've
No, they don't like it.
I mean, I think
Even if you're
I
super,
think even the super.
like supermodels, they're used to seeing themselves. I guess that's just job. They take it
Yeah,
as a
it's more
job. Yeah, so it's not. Yeah.
It's all very tricky, really, but I think we all have a side of vulnerability to us, and we all have a side of a little bit of. Most people do have a little bit of low self-esteem somewhere lurking. It's very hard to.
No.
know.
I would say that's just part of being human being.
Maybe it's a little
If you-
bit quite healthy as well to have a little
if
tiny
you
bit.
don't
'cause
have
otherwise-
a percentage of it, then who are you? What are
Yeah.
you? Oh gosh, you come across as super. It's just too much. You don't what the hell? I mean, you expect a little bit.
It's when it becomes
like-
a bit debilitating. I think that's where the problem it happens.
It's a classical.
It's a classical. It's like the moderation in the end.
Yeah, and it's not attractive
what we always talk
for
about.
anybody really to have that kind of. It's not attractive to others. What are you looking at? Why are you giving me that look? I don't know. You can't see the look on the podcast if you're listening,
See it
but
on YouTube.
you could see it.
I was just wondering if it wasn't attractive to others. I was just
What,
thinking
being
about
really having very low self-esteem?
it. Being vulnerable. What did you say?
No, having very low self-esteem.
Oh, no, it's not attractive.
No. Especially when you're first dating, you like to have somebody that's quite confident in themselves,
Well, I think you look for someone that's going to
It's going to
help
make you feel
out.
good, yeah. Again, it's going to help you out somehow.
Let's face it,
Yeah.
You want someone to compliment you. Unless
Yeah.
you're in like a codependent, which is an unhealthy relationship where you're looking for someone that's worse off than you can like nurture or show off to all the time, be the driving force.
Yeah.
But it's not really very healthy to do something like that. It's better to be in a relationship where you kind of compensate each other. So some of you are good at something, the other one's good at something else, and you
Yeah.
kind of help each other and help each other grow, I think.
Yeah.
No?
Definitely. No, that's definitely the kind of relationship that's the ideal relationship, really, where you're together and one person is really good at something, the other person's no good at something else, and you can say, you can
You
learn.
can always ask for that helping hand from the other person, can't you? What are you thinking?
No,
'Cause
I'm
I
just
asked
going,
you.
no, because you asked me for certain things. Yeah, well, yeah, that doesn't matter. I ask you for other things. I mean, no, that's good. Yeah, you should see us too. I mean, like when we're out and about, it's like, okay, you do that and I'll do that. No, I'm no good at this. And it's like, we do like 50-50 and then we manage to get it done. No matter what it is, it's so weird sometimes.
It's a team effort.
Yeah, it's always a team effort. Well, nearly always. Unless you're just
Like
like...
if we're going to a parking meter or something with a new app where you'll go do one thing, I'll do another. We're pressing buttons
Yeah,
until it gets done.
and then, oh, wow, it's worked. What's a license plate? I don't have it. Oh, I managed to take a picture of it. You know, I don't know. It's funny.
It's funny, yeah. But I mean, it's good. It's
That's
a great thing.
knowing your weaknesses, isn't it?
Yes.
And that doesn't make you
Being
feel less
vulnerable
good.
about them.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm terrible with numbers and I'll get lost anywhere. Anywhere. So I mean literally if your letter says where is that place,
But you used to be better when we used to go to London. I think we have to travel a bit more again.
No, in London you were like lost in there. I don't know
I
what
was
happened
so,
to you
but then
on
I'd
those
be
days.
so confident and thinking it was this way and it was the wrong way.
Yeah, it was a completely wrong way. I don't know. Do you know why? Because I'm so bad at it. I think I really have to pay close attention to where I'm going all the time. So it's something I have to focus a lot on. And you were just like confident that you were like good with roads and knowing
It used to be
places.
good.
Terrible. You used to be good, yeah.
Anyway, that's for another story. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode and come and see us on social media at Get Real with the English Sisters on Instagram, the English Sisters on Instagram as well, where we also have our luxury lighting, and what else? YouTube.
Yeah,
Come and say hi
YouTube.
on YouTube, where you can actually see us in person.
Even though we're not going to look at it.
We will
You
look
can.
at it.
No, we'll look at the comments.
Well, I look at it because I
You
upload
do.
it.
You upload it. Yeah. Oh, thank goodness for that.
Surely you can look at them now. You don't have time to go and view them, but
No.
we
I do.
The comments we look at.
Comments, definitely.
Anyway, lots of love and smiles from the English
Sisters.
sisters. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.